If you're tired of living a life of humiliation, of always feeling underestimated and undervalued, know that this is not the life God planned for you. God did not create you to live in the shadows, to be defeated, without purpose or direction. He created you for a life of honor, a life where you will fulfill the purpose He placed in you. But this transformation doesn't happen overnight, nor by chance. It requires faith, action, and the will to change. It's not a small change. It's an inside-out transformation, step by step, that can take you from a place of humiliation to a life of honor, as God desires for you. Today, I'm going to share 7 practical steps based on the Bible that you can follow to transform your life. These steps are not theoretical. They are applicable, real, and above all, guided by God's Word. Each of these steps is an invitation for you to see yourself differently, to approach your life in a new way, and to understand that even though circumstances may humiliate you today, God has already prepared a path of honor for you. And that path begins with you deciding to move forward. The first step is knowing where you're going. If you want to change your life, the first thing you need to do is define your destination. Many people say they want a different life, a life of honor, but they don't even know what that really means for them. Do you know where you want to go? What is your target? Without a clear goal, any effort will be in vain. The Bible teaches us in Philippians 3:14 that we must press on toward the goal. So stop for a moment and think, what is your goal? What does a life of honor mean to you? Without clarity, you will remain stuck in the same cycle. God calls you to something greater, but you need to know where you want to be. The next step is to design the action plan. Knowing where you want to go is just the beginning. The next step is creating a plan. How will you achieve this life of honor? What needs to change in your routine, in your habits, and in your attitudes? Luke 14:28 teaches us that before building something, we must calculate the cost. This means that you should plan each stage of your journey. If you want a different future, you must have concrete actions to achieve it. Think about your goals and create a clear, realistic, but bold plan. And remember, you won't achieve everything at once. Change is a process that involves persistence, patience, and discipline. Now that you have a plan, it's time to honestly assess your current life. Where are you now? What is holding you back? What are the habits, mindsets, and even people that you need to leave behind? Ephesians 4:22 teaches us to put off your old self. This means that to walk toward a life of honor, you will need to let go of everything that holds you back. It may be destructive habits, thoughts of inferiority, or toxic relationships. You cannot move forward while carrying burdens that don't belong to you. God is calling you to leave the past behind so that you can move forward lightly and without unnecessary burdens. It's easy to focus on what needs to be left behind, but it's also essential to identify the strengths you already possess. What qualities, gifts, and talents has God already given you that will be crucial in this new journey? David, before becoming king, used his skills as a shepherd to face Goliath. 1 Samuel 17:41-58. Likewise, God has already planted in you the necessary resources for your victory. Maybe you need to strengthen your faith, your courage, your leadership, or your commitment. Recognize what's good in you and invest in it. If you don't strengthen your qualities, you'll end up wasting the potential that God has placed inside you. Don't be fooled. Change is difficult. Change requires courage, especially when you don't know exactly what the future holds. Many times, the fear of change paralyzes you, and you end up preferring to stay in your comfort zone, even though you know it won't take you anywhere. But if you want a life of honor, you need to be willing to face this fear. David had to face fear when he took on the challenge of fighting Goliath, and also when he accepted the responsibilities that would lead him to the throne. In the same way, you will have to face the fears that arise along the way. Remember, God has not given you a spirit of timidity, but of power. 2 Timothy 1:7. Trust that He will be with you every step of the way. Who is by your side can determine whether or not you will reach your destination. Who are the people you're allowing to walk with you? Proverbs 13:20 warns us, "Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm." The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your life. If you want a life of honor, you need to walk with people who share the same values, who encourage you, who challenge you to grow. If you continue surrounding yourself with people who don't support you or who drag you down, your journey will be much harder. God has prepared people to help you on this journey. You need to discern who should be by your side and who should be left behind. This is the most important point of all. Always be sensitive to God's voice. It's no use making plans, facing fear, and choosing good company if you're not listening to God's voice. Psalm 119:105 says, "Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path." This means that, at every step, you must seek divine guidance. God is the one who knows the path you should follow. He knows what awaits you and how to prepare you for the challenges. Always be sensitive to God's command. Seek His direction through prayer, reading the Word, and quiet moments before Him. God will speak to you and guide you toward the life of honor He has already planned. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to live the life that God really planned for you? A life of honor, purpose, and abundance. These 7 practical steps are the path God gives you to transform your reality of humiliation into a life of victory. It's not just about external changes, but about a transformation that begins inside, in your spirit, and in your mind. This process requires faith, courage, discipline, and above all, unwavering trust in God. But the good news is that you're not alone. God is with you at every step, ready to guide you, strengthen you, and open doors you never imagined could exist. What you need to understand is that change begins with a decision. Today could be the beginning of this new phase in your life. You no longer need to live trapped by the past, by humiliations, or by failures. God has already prepared the path for your transformation, but you need to decide to walk it. Don't wait for a perfect moment or ideal circumstances. The time to act is now. What's within your reach is to take the first step, and God will take care of opening the way as you move forward. Don't settle for humiliation. Don't get used to living below what God has for you. Get up now and start the journey toward the life of honor that God has already prepared. The power of transformation is in your hands, and God is ready to walk by your side, sustain you through the difficulties, and exalt you at the right moments. As Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This is the promise for those who walk in God's direction. Today is the day for you to rise, leave the place of humiliation, and begin the journey to a life of honor, a life of purpose and fulfillment. God is calling you to something greater. Believe, trust, and take the first step. He is already ahead of you, ready to lead you to the destiny He prepared from the beginning of time. The choice is yours, and victory is already certain with God by your side.